show, everyone. It's getting to look a lot like Christmas, but it's like 80 degrees outside, so I don't know what you all think out there. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. I'm going to go right in with my first guest, who I absolutely adore, because you know what? You are a seniors advocate. I have with me Jennifer Kramer, and she is the owner of Legal Stuff. And you do a lot. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, but why you do what you do is so important. Listen up, everyone.
So first off, I'm a legal document preparer, so I can draft estate planning documents, I can do deeds, any kind of trust, wills, whatever they need, power of attorneys. I'm also a licensed fiduciary, which now I'm at a different standard to protect those that I work with, and that's primarily seniors in the elderly.
Right. Now, you're passionate, hugely passionate about what you do, because people tend to get weird when it comes to the money that they might be getting, homes and stuff, and you protect the one that is maybe incapacitated, right, or what have you.
I do my best to protect my ward. We call them the ward, right, if it's a court-appointed guardian or conservator. But whoever that person is, I want to make sure their wishes are fulfilled. And it's not, and I do my best not to put my own thoughts or, background into it. I get to know them, to know what they really, really want. So when they become incapacitated, I can still follow through on their wishes.
So you're on top of it before anything happens, but how many times when people don't take care of things in advance, which is what you're really here to talk about, to obviously take care of things in advance, just how often do people have things go haywire when they don't?
99.9% of the time.
Isn't that sad?
It is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
It is so sad, just because if they just did simple things to protect it or to designate someone to help them, it would save their estate thousands and thousands of dollars, and the stress, I can't even tell you the stress it puts on them.
So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the lines of the audience for everyone to be able to call in and get entered in to win. It's a will-based plan.
Right.
Okay, it's $495 value, free to you or anyone you know. But first of all, it's the gift of that gifting season.
Right.
Give it to somebody, because you know what? When they're not done, believe me, there is a lot of mess that can happen. So, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm going to let everyone get called and get entered in to win one. She always does also this. Let's say you don't win, you get 30% off.
That's right.
She always does that as well. Now, what comes with this will-based plan?
There's the last will and testament. There's the durable power of attorney, which is for financial matters. There's the healthcare power of attorney for the doctors, and a mental health, which Arizona is now incorporating, that you really need because of all the dementia and the Alzheimer's. And there's also what's called a living will, and that's what people get confused with the last will. I wish they called it something different. But the living will is while you're still alive, and it's your last directives. Mm-hmm. And then any kind of deed, if you need a beneficiary deed or anything to help protect your home from probate, I can do that as well.
So you can call her direct. Her phone number is 602-457-2333, and you can check her out on her website, which is legalstuffaz.com.
Yes.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what you want to focus on. Obviously, so important is for people to get this thing and have it notarized through you, right?
Yes.
And you make sure, obviously, when you talk with people, you have a free consultation with them. When you talk to them, let's talk about what that looks like with people.
For me, a lot of times it's the kids that are calling me, which I appreciate, because they're trying to do what's right for their parents and try to honor them. But sometimes that's not the case. And so for me, when I meet with a potential client that I'm doing legal documents for, I try to gauge the whole situation. And, kind of like an attorney would do, and I would hope that they would appreciate that I would still go to those lengths to make sure I'm drafting documents for someone that can still draft them.
Right.
And not just to the benefit of whoever's asking me to draft them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the important part.
Now, let's talk about stories here, okay? Because let me just tell you something about Jennifer. First of all, I love your passion. and I love how you are right there to help them. And you think about things that other people wouldn't think about, and that's because you're their advocate, right? So let's just give one story, for instance, that might have happened with somebody who didn't have everything done or done correctly, right? And what happened?
Well, and part of it is, even though you get things done, if you don't have original documents, that's a whole nother animal, because now you have to petition the court to get the court to validate these copies that might not actually be what the ward wants anymore, because a lot of them are 10, 20 years old.
Right, and a lot of people have lost their documents, and they might have had, years and years and years ago, everything was different.
Right.
So, you had a copy and that was enough. That is not the case anymore. So you have to go to a lot of, you do something in your office, I think that's important for people to hear that you do, so that they don't have to do that anymore.
We store original documents. It's called the EP Vault, and we store original documents for people to help prevent a lot of things from happening, because a lot of times beneficiaries, if they're not listed, they'll get into the house and destroy documents, because Arizona law, intestate law is different than what we may want in our will.
Amazing what people will do for money.
It's sad. I've seen a lot of really sad things.
Mm-hmm. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. It's a will-based plan. It's a $495 value free to you or anyone that you know. If you don't win, she's going to give 30% off right away. That's what she does.
Yes.
But to anybody else. But we've got our lines open here, and anyone. Now let's say this too, though. If you don't have one, for sure you call in. Do you also help people who have them but maybe need a second opinion?
I mean, I can look at them, yeah, based on everything, because I administer a lot of them. Being a fiduciary, I'm the PR, and I'm the successor trustee, so I can look at documents and let you know, hey, if it's been my experience, this won't fly or that won't fly, you're gonna have problems with this, and then they can have them revised if they need to.
It's also important to make sure that you dust them off, because you need to make sure that they are updated to what they need today.
Well, that, and a lot of their people that they listed have either passed away, or maybe they don't have the same relationships with those people that they listed as their successors.
Right, so our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free is 1-866-536-1100. Get yourself entered in to win. It's a will-based plan. Now, I know it's not a weed whacker, and I know that it isn't something where you're thinking, oh my God, you should be though. You should be, because the one thing that everybody needs, anybody over the age of 18,
Agree.
is
That power of attorney.
the power of attorney. That's right, and everybody should at least have that. So you can call in here. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Check her out on her website, which is legalstuffaz.com. You can help people real quickly before we go to a break with almost anything. Real estate. What else?
I'm a licensed real estate, VA benefits.
VA benefits,
pension
really
benefits.
important to understand about that. And when we come back from a break, I do want to kind of go into that, because people who have serviced our country, and thank you for all of that, but guess what? You have things that are sitting on the table that you probably don't even realize that you have, or that you can even use. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm letting everyone call throughout the rest of the show. We're going to come back and talk further about this. Check her out on her website. It is legalstuffaz.com, or you can call her at 602-457-2333.
Nice.
We're going to keep on going here because we're live.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. For vets out there that are listening, oh my gosh.
Feel free.
It is,
There's
oh my God, how pretty. I bet you the
food
wife
in
made
the
those.
conference room. Enjoy. Feel free to grab food
So
after
you
the
see
show.
what happens?
Thank
during
Tons
our
of food.
segments?
Happy holidays.
Thank you. It's the holidays, everybody out there. So you know what?
Look how
We're
pretty
gonna
those
enjoy.
are.
They're little cupcakes. I bet you
Aw.
his wife made those. That's
Those
so
are
sweet.
nice.
Those are darling. I love those.
Okay,
So-
what were we talking about?
Exactly. Let's reel that in one more time. They don't nobody else does what I do here in this, so they don't understand that we are still live. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the different things. Obviously, the first on your list is people who have children that might try and get
Or you have
money.
blended families. You've got so many blended families now.
I wanna talk
That's a
about, that's
huge,
blended
huge
families.
thing. There's so many different nuances with that.
Oh my God, forever with everything like that. I mean, that starts off the minute somebody does get married like that, right? Which is fine,
Yep.
whatever,
You want them to be happy, not alone.
right? But guess what?
The kids
Now-
still want something, and they're gonna get mad at the stepmom and if she takes it all without telling them, and it happens a lot.
I bet, yeah. A lot of different things that you have dealt with. I need to say about your BBB.
Being.
I've got that down.
Okay. Oh, don't do that.
Cross it off over
I didn't
here,
renew
too.
that.
That's okay, it's okay.
Okay, so we have the VA.
We have the benefits, we're gonna talk about blended families, and you see how fast it goes, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one right now, like I was just put on a case where the lady has nobody. And I don't think people are aware of fiduciaries and what we do, because not all the states have those.
Let's talk about that.
And,
with that.
yeah, and she had nobody, and so she had a friend that was supposedly taking care of her stuff. He took all of her money, literally came into the group home, hasn't been paid for 6 months, and he said, sorry, she's out of money. And he walked away. And she had, when the hospital told the group home that she had plenty of money. And so now it's all gone.
Mhm.
And he's living in her house, and she can't do anything
And you
about
can't,
it.
those squatters.
Well, he's more than that. He took advantage. I think he just assumed, because I think I haven't seen it yet, but I think she was giving him the house in her will. But she's not deceased, and she needs money to pay for the group home to take care of her.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah. What do you do?
So sad.
I know. All right, wrap it up. All right.
We're talking with Jennifer Kramer, and Jennifer is the owner of Illegal Stuff. And a lot of people out there don't realize how much when you're dealing with anything, you can help them with getting those documents taken care of, right?
And if I can't, I know somebody that can.
Okay, and also, they can be notarized through her.
Yes.
We were gonna talk about fiduciaries last, but I might just do that right now, since I kind of, I think it's a good lead
Whatever you
in.
like.
So being a fiduciary, explain to them why it's so important to have somebody who is a fiduciary.
Well, it's not only, Arizona is one of the few states that has licensed fiduciaries, and we're licensed with the state, we're bonded, and we're held at a higher level of integrity that you would just even normal, that's why you see a lot of investment companies, financial, and
People.
Yeah, financial guys are getting licensed as fiduciaries because it puts you at a different level of accountability.
Right.
And so that is our job, to make sure that we're taking care of our people like we would take care of our own stuff.
If I'm gonna have somebody advocating for me, I want somebody who's gonna be a fiduciary as well, because I know that's what the word is. It's actually, looking out for their best interest.
Yes, in most cases. I mean, you really have to look into fiduciaries.
Your
and
son or daughter is not necessarily the right fiduciary, right?
And it's nice to have a third party that's not an interested party that really can keep things
Emotional.
on a level. But you've got to look and research your fiduciaries. There's huge companies, there's small companies. The bigger companies are more matter of fact. They don't take a more personal, approach where some of the smaller ones do. You just need to find one that's your fit.
Right, and what I love about you is your passion to help them, to make sure that they are getting what they deserve, right?
Yes.
What their wishes were.
Yes.
So, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a will-based plan. She said that people don't have them. When things go haywire, she said it's 99.9% of the time. That's a lot. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into this. It's a $495 value, free to you or anyone that you know. Anyone that doesn't win, she gives 30% off right off the bat as well. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. And I'm gonna let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for this. I think anyone who's, even if you have it and you think you're all taken care of, have her take a look at it for sure. She's done mine too. Now, I do also want to talk about you for 1 second. You're valley-wide,
Yes.
okay, and she does free consultations.
I'm statewide.
You're statewide, okay, so we just gotta write that down. I'm not surprised.
I've been up to Concho and Snowflake and Bullhead City.
Wherever she can to
Tucson.
help, she's going to help you. Her number
Absolutely.
direct is 602-457-2333. Check her out. It is legalstuffaz.com. Now, let's go into some other things that we wanted to talk about. Obviously, we talked about fiduciary. I want to talk a little bit about VAs and the benefits that you can help the VAs with making sure that they get. Go ahead.
I specialize more in the pension benefits, which can help assist pay for at-home care, or if they're in assisted living, it'll help pay for that. And they can get up to almost $3,000. And if your spouse is the same thing, it can help. She gets additional. So there's a lot of money out there for these guys that have served our country, and I just don't think they realize that it's available to them.
Right. Anybody who's a vet should probably have, you just look into it.
Yeah, the pension part that I deal with, the aid and attendance, is income based.
Okay.
So you can't have more than, I wanna say like 225, they probably raised it a little bit, 225,000 in assets.
Okay.
And then that'll kick in, and if you do, you can still apply, you don't get the maximum amount.
Right.
And you can just build it until that money's wears down, and then you can get the full stuff.
But there's money on the table that you may not
Absolutely.
know, and that's what she helps with people who are veterans, that she can help out with that. Again, her number direct is 602-457-2333. We do have our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win this will-based plan. It comes with everything.
Yes.
Everything that you need. And again, our number here is 602-277-5369.
You know, hold on, back to the veterans.
Yeah?
You know, a lot of them don't realize, but over the last 10 years, 10, 12 years, the VA has actually turned in a lot of the history of like Agent Orange and all that, and that we couldn't prove caused certain cancers and certain things. Now they can. And so people that couldn't get benefits back then for disability, they can get it now. And they don't have all the red tape to go through, because now they have certain diseases and certain things that are accountability to when you were in the service.
Well, let me tell
So
you.
they just need to check it out.
I love my show, and I say it almost every show. The reason why is because of the great information that people hear on this show. And, you know, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know.
Right.
Tell them about it, because you know what? Especially with the vets, they served. You
Yes.
do deserve it. And I hate to say this, but they're not sending out a letter to you saying, listen, you are entitled to. They don't do that.
And even a lot of the posts, the legions and all that, aren't familiar with everything. It changes all the time, and there's so much going on with it. But you know, if you know what you're doing, it's pretty streamlined.
So, we've got our lines open here. Get in touch with her. Get this entered in to win the will-based plan that comes with everything. Our number here, 602-277-5369. And toll-free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check her out on her website. It's legalstuffaz.com. Let's talk about blended families. I'm telling you, folks, blended families, I mean, everybody's got a blended family somewhere or another down the line, right? I mean, that's the way it's been forever now.
I know, and it makes things really difficult if you don't have your ducks in a row.
Okay, tell us why.
Part of it's when you pass away in Arizona, if there's no will or anything, the current wife will get 50%, because we're community property. So they'll get, the spouse or whoever, they get 50%, and then if there's kids from a previous marriage, they split the other half. But in other states, it's not that way. Whoever the surviving spouse is, they get everything. And I think a lot of people that transit here go by those sort of things, right? And so you have a spouse that automatically just takes everything thinking they're entitled to it, and now the kids come back and sue because, wait, you know, we're entitled to it. And it's just a big fight. It's just...
Well, let me just say this. The minute that unfortunately for you, let's say you pass away or are incapacitated, unfortunately, folks, bad stuff starts happening. This is, I mean, we've talked about it, and you know, and unfortunately, older folks, they don't know what they don't know, right? And then they get hit with some, they might have not even thought their child was aggressive in this way, you know, and all of a sudden now they are. And it happens all the time because people are greedy.
Well, and I have one
Unfortunately,
case right
this
now where a
is.
woman had a stroke and her kids just thought they could step in and sell her house and get money for her at the assisted living, and they can't. Because there was no power of attorney. So now they literally have to petition the court, the hearings are 60, 90 days out sometimes, to get appointed as her guardian and conservator so they can pay her bills, because that wasn't there. And now you've got attorneys, because now there's like 2 or 3 attorneys, the court appoints one, they appoint a guardian, they appoint all these people that are now involved in your life, and they're watching over everything.
Make sure that you call in here, whether it's you or someone that you know, for this, because let me say, it's priceless.
It's just peace
Can
of
you
mind.
imagine?
It's
I
peace
say
of
this a lot,
mind
I've said
all
it
the
with
time.
you many, many times. You cannot call Amazon unless they check and see who you are.
That's right.
Right? So if you think that's the way it is with just them, it's not. It's with everything, and the more serious the situation, the more that they want it.
That's right. That's right. The banks are really cracking down.
And I can tell you that for sure, because I told my ex-husband, his mother, now wasn't incapacitated, she was able to speak, but guess what? Everything that they thought that was all taken care of, oh, we don't have to worry, we've already got it taken care of. Every one of them had to be changed, because the laws have changed,
Yeah.
and the way they do things is a lot different.
Right. And the things they require.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, what they require.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of the power of attorneys and stuff now require that you have doctor's notes and doctor's notices. And
Nice.
that's not easy for
No.
kids to get sometimes.
Especially if you are incapacitated or passed.
Mhm.
Now, what happens then, or what, you need to have that power of attorney.
Right.
That's that one.
And if you
that's
don't,
supposed
now you're wasting time at the court and money, all that time and money.
to- So what is the second most important, real quickly, paper that they should make sure they have?
The mental health,
Right.
just
Why
because
that?
of the Alzheimer's and
I thought you were
dementia.
gonna say, the healthcare.
Well, that's
Was
what,
it the same
it falls
thing?
in the same, yeah, it
Okay,
falls
okay.
in the same line, yeah.
Okay, I thought they were different.
But if they
Okay.
don't include the mental health, you can't get a psychiatric view, what am I trying to say?
Psychiatric? I have that problem too all the
Evaluation.
time. Evaluation.
Evaluation, and so that's sometimes what you need in order to get that diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Tell them again what this will-based plan comes with.
The last will and testament, the durable power of attorney, which is the financial, the healthcare power of attorney, the mental health power of attorney, and a living will and a deed if you have a trust or if you want to do a beneficiary deed.
We've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win one, and it's a $495 value, free to you or anyone you know. She's mobile, she comes to you, that's the
Yes.
other thing that's really nice about her as well. She's statewide, she's a fiduciary, and she's someone that you want to call. Call in here for this at 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Check her out on her website. It's legalstuffaz.com.